The final major update to Super Mario Maker 2 was released this past Wednesday on April 22nd, 2020. Now, this update is huge, not only because it is the last update, but because it brings us a lot of cool stuff. From items, to an entire world builder, to actually being able to create up to 8 worlds in a single super world, which might as well just be called a Mario game, which then you can upload to the course player, and they now have a world player, I assume it's called. And it's really, really cool. I was so incredibly excited when I first saw this announced, and the fact that it was going to be made available 2 days after that announcement went up, I couldn't wait. The world builder is the thing that I wanted from Mario Maker. It is the thing. And so on Tuesday night, I went ahead and I updated Mario Maker and I played it as soon as I had access to it. And it's not perfect. I'm not entirely on board with it. Sorry? I wasn't sure if I wanted to make this video. I tried making one last week, literally on Wednesday, to get a hot take out on Thursday, and this can still be considered a hot take, but at least I've thought about it more. I ended up scrapping that video, but I haven't seen really any bad reviews of this update, and I can imagine why. Like, this is the most control Nintendo has ever given us over any of their franchises, and it's really, really cool. You can now create your own Mario games, and you can upload them for other people to play. It's really hard to spin this as a bad thing, but that's what I'm gonna be doing essentially for the next 15 or so minutes, so I'm sorry. I also apologize for how my hair looks. Clearly everything is closed, so I can't get a haircut right now, and we're just gonna have to deal with this mess as it grows, so I am sorry about that. And then just one quick thing, again, I know I say this every time, it's just my opinion. I'm not speaking for you or for anybody else other than myself, but you can speak for yourself down in the comments below. Please be respectful, just go ahead and tell me what you think if you disagree with me, or if you agree with me. Just please be respectful. That's all I ask. So, what exactly is wrong with this update? Well, the first thing you might notice when you get into it is that it is incredibly limited in every single facet of its design. It is a very, very basic world editor. First of all, what you're seeing here is all you get. It's a 7x4 grid, meaning there's 28 spaces for each world, and you can't expand that whatsoever. You have that space to work with, and each path or square takes up one of those 28 tiles, unless you're using a cliff, which takes up 2 spaces. Because that's fun. Now, I get why there's not a lot of space, because if you look at a game like Super Mario World, those levels really, they were pretty contained within probably a 7x4 grid or something close to it. But in Super Mario World, you had these really nice custom-made cliffs and all these custom design paths, and they looked really good even though they were a small grid, whereas here, you can't do anything close to that. What this ends up meaning in terms of design is that these actually end up being really good showcases of your levels. It gets people to play 4 or 5 of your courses in a row without them needing to go find them randomly or click on your face in your, I don't know, whatever they call it, your profile, your Nintendo profile. I don't know what they call it, but that's about it. It's just a showcase. It's not really a good place for creativity in designing Mario games or Mario worlds. And this problem is only exacerbated by the fact that you can only put in 4 of your own levels. That's not counting the castle, but yes, that's 4 worlds. It's not a lot. And this really low level count that you have to work with, combined with these worlds being so small in their size, ends up creating what I was just talking about. It's really just might as well be a straight shot showcase of 4 levels plus a castle before moving on to the next world to do the exact same thing. There's no way to really do optional paths. The real problem is that there's little to no allowed variation on that design. What fun is it going to be to go around and play other people's worlds when I know that I'm just going to see one of like 4 or 5 different world layouts? That's the real issue here. I don't know why they have a level cap in the first place. I personally don't see a problem with just giving unlimited amounts of levels to place in your worlds, especially if you keep the grid spacing to 7x4. There's really not a lot you can do there. The size of the space by itself is enough to limit the amount of courses that you can put in each level. I really don't think you need a level cap, but say you do for whatever reason, I don't know why, but say that you have to have a level cap, at least give us 6 levels to play with. That way we can make some optional paths. Although if you're asking me, I would personally do at least 8 levels, if not unlimited, and probably up the grid to something like, I don't know, 10x5. I think that would give us a decent number of squares to play with, especially considering the cliffs, they take up 2 squares. Why do the cliffs take up 2 whole squares? Oh, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And then a smaller issue that's related to the levels, you can only place 2 warp pipes, meaning 1 total warp per world. I guess that makes sense based on how small the levels just are right now, but that also means that, once again, your creativity is limited. If you wanted to make a whole world around warp pipes and going through, figuring out which warp pipe goes to the correct level, I mean, you can't do that. You just can't. I would at least give us 8 warp pipes to play with. That way you have 4 total warps. But again, I really don't see what the issue would be with giving you unlimited amounts of warps. Again, the space you have to play with is going to be limited no matter what, which means that you have a maximum amount of warps you can place anyway. It's just, I don't know why they made these choices. It baffles me. I really don't know. And getting back to optional paths for a moment, like I was saying, you can technically have them, especially like I was saying, if you split them in the beginning, where you don't have a level to split them off, you can put 2 easy levels, 2 hard levels, and then just have them meet and go to the castle. That's probably the best way to do it if you want to get the most use out of 2 easy levels and 2 hard levels. But say you wanted to hide a secret. Say you wanted to have a secret mushroom house or a secret level that was extremely hard and only meant for certain people to find. Guess what? You can't do it. You can't. Not possible. Yeah. When a player starts your world, just like any other Mario game, they can see every single path through the level before they even beat the first stage. So you can't hide secrets. Everybody will know what's what and where is where. Now, the lack of hidden paths and levels is actually one of the more excusable issues I have with this. It's one of the more forgivable things I think is missing from this Super Mario Maker 2 update, and that is because it actually would require that another tool be built into the level editor, which would be a secret exit. Secret exits are very common. They're found in, I think, more or less every Mario game since the first one. So it's not like they're a thing that people don't know about. They're one of the more fun things, I think, in the series. And even in Super Mario Bros. U and U Deluxe, or whatever they decided to call that, even those games have secret exits where you can't see the path until you exit through the secret exit. It would honestly be pretty simple, I think. I don't know how tough the coding would be, but all you would have to do is create a tool in the world editor called a secret path and a secret level. That way those do not automatically show up when the player jumps into the level. They'll see all the regular paths, but then the hidden paths and hidden levels obviously would be hidden. And then if you wanted to reveal them, you would just require that a level be connected to that secret path, and all you'd have to do is exit that level through its secret exit, and boom, the secret path opens up instead of the regular path going in front of it. That's more or less it. And another really sad thing about this is that there just is an extreme lack of tools for the world builder. I mean, look at this. This is everything. You have different types of paths. You can click and hold on the path to make it a water or secondary path. I think it's usually water. Then you have the cliff tool. You have a blank space tool, which can be either a blank space or one of 3 decorations depending on the world you're in. Or you can place a level, warp, or one-up house. And that's it. That's the entirety of your tools there. It's so barren. Again, going back to secrets, one of the biggest mechanics in other Mario games that I feel is missing from this world builder is the P-switch. P-switch houses are a big deal in Mario. I think they add a lot to the game. Not only are they generally secrets, so it feels good to find one, but the room before the switch usually is just a reward with very little challenge, gives you either one 1-up or a ton of 1-ups or a ton of coins or just something that's fun to do. Then you press that switch, and then mysterious blocks of that same color in all levels across all the worlds become solid, meaning that usually pits that will kill you are now traversable, hiding more secrets, and it just makes the game a lot more fun. I don't know why they didn't give us at least that. Now again, I feel like it's very important that I state that I know that this is not just some easy change Nintendo would be able to implement. They would have to create not only the P-switch, but they'd more than likely have to create a new tool for P-switch houses specifically. But again, I do think it would be worth it because it would add more complexity to the world builder and it would allow for more creative and unique world designs. And the lack of a P-switch, or as I'm going to call the mechanic, persistent effects and changes across levels, across worlds, many of those just straight up don't exist anymore. I had an experiment where I tried to take a key with me from one level into another. It was an unused key. I finished the level with it. The key didn't disappear after the end of the level, so I thought, oh, maybe I'll be able to take that in and solve a special puzzle where you have to grab a key from an old level. Nope. No, that key disappeared in between levels. And while that might be excusable as like, oh, well, maybe just balance or something like that. Guess what? Guess what else? If you end a level with a fire flower, you don't get to keep that fire flower. You know how in normal Mario where that happens? That doesn't happen in the world builder. Whatever state you end the final, like the last level you beat, whatever state you end that level in, you go into the next level, nope, gone. It's whatever you would normally start out as in that level you start out as, which is normally the little Mario with no power. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't code that in. That seems like a really, really, really basic, obvious thing that I shouldn't have to be asking for, and it's missing. It's just there's so many mechanics that range from basic things that should be in a Mario game to things that are more creative and take a little bit of effort to do that are missing. And it all leads to a bland, detached, and what feels like half-finished experience that's just tacked on at what may be the end of Mario Maker 2's life cycle. And I don't know why Nintendo would want to end the life of Mario Maker 2 at all. Don't even get me started on why they'd want to end it right now, a year after the game has come out, but why end it at all? The last 2D Mario to actually come out was Mario U. I mean, if you don't count Super Luigi U for the Year of Luigi, or the repackaging of both of those as Mario U Deluxe on the Switch, it's been a long time since we've actually gotten a 2D Mario game. That's kind of the hole that these games have been filling. And that could be an argument people use as to why the world builder is so simple. A lot of what I've seen is people just surprised that Nintendo would essentially allow us to create Mario games. That's usually Nintendo's job, it's usually reserved for them. And I could see how that line of thinking might start. You might worry that if you give the people tools to create essentially their own games, that they might not need you to make those games anymore. But I still don't feel that's the case necessarily. Essentially, what Mario Maker is as a game is a Nintendo licensed and distributed modding tool for their games, and a very limited modding tool at that. You can't create any new mechanics, you can't do any weird coding stuff with it, you can't use anything that Nintendo doesn't give you to use in these games. So you are very limited creatively with what you can do in the games. Now, that's not to say that Nintendo hasn't given a lot of unique abilities and things that just straight up don't exist in other Mario titles for us to use, but Nintendo is still the only ones who can give us brand new Mario. Sure, we can come up with some cool different puzzles or levels that Nintendo would never give us, but that's the thing. Nintendo would never give them to us. So we wouldn't really be encroaching on their space. And this is all without even considering that it's really hard to find good, focused, creative levels as it is. In order to do that, you usually have to go to like the Mario Maker subreddit or find a specific forum or just something on the internet, and I can guarantee you that Nintendo's core audience of kids and their parents are either not gonna know how to do that or not gonna wanna do that. They're just gonna wanna buy the game off the shelf and have it work. They're not gonna wanna do anything else. You still gotta grab Mario U from Nintendo. Whatever 2D Mario they wanna develop in the future, Nintendo still has that power. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to kill off the game right now, or to let it dying off. It's possible that they could still be doing that for whatever reason, but what I'm hoping is that this means that this is the last free update. It's still possible that in the future, Nintendo could give us paid DLC or paid expansion packs. Like, imagine we do get a new Super Mario Bros. Game in, a year or two or whatever, and then a year or two after that game comes out, boom, they load in all the assets to Mario Maker. Oh, hey, that's not free, that's another $10. You gotta $10 download all new Mario Maker Switch assets or something, I don't know. And the only other excuse to not add in stuff like we've been talking about is that, oh, well, somebody might make a weird world that either can't be finished or is stupid in its design or is just bad. Dude, have you seen Mario Maker? Have you even tried to complete the normal difficulty endless mode ever? Sure, you might find one or two pretty decent levels at first, but without fail, within the first 5 levels of that normal mode, you're gonna definitely come across one level where somebody just kind of like randomly shoved in a bunch of things and we're just like, there you go, done, that's a level. No, if somebody made a bad super world, we would just quit out of it and find a better one. Just like we do with stupid levels that people end up making now. That's not a legitimate reason to not give us these tools. The only other thing I could really think of is that just maybe Nintendo just doesn't want us to have the full world building, game building tools that they have. And you know what? It's their game. They have a right to withhold that stuff from us. I personally don't think that they should be doing that. I would love to be able to create my own Mario games as creatively and as uniquely as I would like to. It's why, recapping, I would like to see the grid expanded from 7x4, preferably, in my opinion, at least to 10x5, but I would take bigger. Second, I would like limits to be removed, if possible, on the amount of levels and warps you can place on each world, though I do understand if, for whatever reason, they have to be there. If limits on the number of levels have to be required, I would like to see at least 6 levels to be able to be placed per world, and at least one other warp. I want to be able to place 4 warp pipes. Just give me that. At the very least, give me that. Third, I would love to see secret paths and hidden levels implemented into the world builder. Plus, that secret exit added into the level editor. That way we can make those secret paths and hidden levels work properly when we place them into our worlds. Fourth, I would love to see our toolbox for the world builder filled out with things like the P-switch house, keys that you can grab, really any persistent world effects that continue outside of the level that you grab it in. That would really help and go a long way to building creative, interesting worlds for the world builder. And lastly, a very basic thing, please, 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 at least let fire flowers and tanuki suits and leaves or whatever carry across from level to level. If you don't give us anything else, at least let upgrades persist through levels. At the very least that's a little ridiculous to have to ask for, but at the very least that. Summing up my thoughts about this update, it's very promising. I will definitely be taking the time to actually craft worlds now, as simple as they may be. I'm even updating all the footage you see right next to me. Also, I'm hoping I'm pointing the right way, if not over there, but I'm pretty sure right there is where it is. I'm updating those courses as we speak, and I'm actually trying to create focused worlds. Should hopefully be a good time, but it's just a start in my opinion. I would love to see this fleshed out with everything we've been talking about, and I really hope that we get some DLC packs or expansion packs in the future that, even if Nintendo doesn't want to give us them for free, I would pay for this. This is my dream game. I want to be able to make my own Mario games as creatively and as uniquely as I want, and that's just all I want. That's just what I want to do. So Nintendo, please give me the tools to do it. Please! Oof. Thanks everybody so much for watching. I'm sorry if this video was a little unfocused. Initially I tried to do it scripted without a camera, but it just didn't feel right. I also made a couple of errors and had some editing problems, so I kind of threw it away and decided to make this the weekly video. As an update, I'm now posting weekly on this channel because I'm just staying at home doing nothing, and what else do I have to do? New videos will be going up on Mondays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. If there's a better time that works for you, please leave it in the comments. I'm trying to figure out when is actually best for me to upload. That way, the most amount of people who are subscribed to me can watch it immediately, so I definitely value that input. I am also going to be doing hot takes. This is considered a hot take. Again, I was going to post it on Thursday, just didn't work out that way. And those videos won't be scheduled. Those will just be coming out hopefully when the news drops or a day or two after the news drops. So just in case that 1 or 2 days away doesn't happen to fall on a Monday when things are scheduled, and just so that these hot takes don't take away from regularly scheduled uploads in the future, go ahead and not only subscribe, but click that bell. That way you're notified and you don't end up missing these videos while you're just waiting for that normal schedule to be uploaded. Once again, I'd like to invite you to comment down below with your own thoughts, whether you liked this video, disliked it, tell me why, whether you agreed or disagreed. I want to know your reasons. Just please be respectful. I will not be engaging with anybody who is not respectfully commenting down there, so just keep that in mind. And I know it's very hard times we're going through, but any kind of donation would be appreciated. I now have members allowed on my channel. I have 3 tiers for you. First tier is $5. Any of the tiers get you access to a couple of bonus videos I already have uploaded on the channel specifically for members only, but that is not the only thing you're actually going to be getting access to. Depending on the level you choose, you can actually get your name in the credits right here where my face is. So that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, so just anybody who does decide to support me is very, very much appreciated. So thank you very much if you end up doing that. And thank you for watching either way, because that really helps. That helps with the watch time. So thank you to anybody who's doing that. And I hope you're staying safe. And I will see you for next week's video, all right? Bye. Oh yeah, and leave me what you want to see next week. Okay, bye.